Imagine a world where women rule, where strength and courage are celebrated, and where a single object holds immense power. This is the realm of the Amazons, and it's the setting for Hercules' ninth labor. Today, we'll delve into the perilous journey Hercules undertook to obtain the belt of Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons. This task, unlike the others, wasn't just about physical strength. It required diplomacy, courage, and a deep understanding of a culture vastly different from his own. King Eurystheus, ever seeking to humiliate Hercules, assigned him a task unlike any other. He demanded that Hercules obtain the belt of Hippolyta, the queen of the fierce Amazonian warriors. This powerful artifact, forged in the heart of the Amazonian homeland, was said to grant its wearer immense strength and invulnerability. The task was more than just a physical challenge. It required Hercules to venture into a foreign land, navigate unfamiliar customs, and confront a warrior society unlike any he had encountered before. It was a test not only of his strength and courage, but also of his diplomacy and understanding of other cultures. The Amazons were a formidable foe, renowned for their skill in combat and their fierce independence. Hercules would need to tread carefully to avoid provoking them and ensure his survival. The Amazons were a legendary race of warrior women who lived in a secluded region near the Black Sea. Their society was matriarchal, with women holding the dominant roles. Men were allowed in their society only for the purpose of reproduction. The Amazons were known for their fierce independence, their skill in combat, and their unwavering loyalty to one another. They were skilled archers, horseback riders, and swordswomen. Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons, was a formidable warrior and a wise ruler. The belt was a symbol of her authority and a sacred object, passed down from generation to generation. Hippolyta guarded the belt with great care, knowing that it was a target for those who sought to conquer the Amazons. Hercules, ever the adventurer, embarked on a perilous journey to the Amazonian homeland. His path led him through treacherous mountains, dense forests, and across vast, unforgiving plains. Along the way, he faced fierce wild animals, treacherous rivers, and hostile tribes. After a long and arduous journey, Hercules finally reached the Amazonian homeland. He approached the city with caution, knowing that he was entering a territory ruled by fierce and independent women. As he drew closer, he could hear the sounds of war drums and the cries of warriors training for battle. Hercules was met at the city gates by a group of Amazonian guards. They eyed him with suspicion and hostility, their weapons drawn. Hercules knew that he had to tread carefully, avoiding any provocation. "Who are you, stranger?" one of the guards demanded. Hercules introduced himself, explaining that he had come to speak with Queen Hippolyta. The guards were skeptical, but they eventually allowed him to enter the city. Hercules was led to the royal palace, an imposing structure made of stone and wood. As he approached the throne room, he could hear the sound of voices and the clanging of armor. When he entered the throne room, he was greeted by a sight that took his breath away. Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons, sat on a throne made of gold and ivory. She was a woman of immense stature and strength, her eyes flashing with intelligence and determination. "What brings you to our city, mortal?" Hippolyta demanded. Hercules explained his mission, hoping to appeal to her sense of fairness. He told her that he had come to obtain the belt, not through force but through diplomacy. Hippolyta was intrigued, but she was also wary. She knew that Hercules was a powerful warrior, and she was not sure if she could trust him. She asked him why he wanted the belt, and what he would do with it if he obtained it. Hercules explained that he had been tasked with obtaining the belt by King Eurystheus, his nemesis. He told Hippolyta that he had no intention of harming the Amazons or their way of life. He simply wanted to complete his task and return home. Hippolyta listened to Hercules with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. She knew that the belt was a powerful symbol of her authority, and she was reluctant to give it up. However, she was also impressed by Hercules' courage and his determination. Hippolyta was initially reluctant to give Hercules the belt for several reasons. First, she knew that it was a powerful symbol of her authority and a sacred object. Second, she was concerned about the safety of her people. Third, she was wary of outsiders. Finally, she was simply proud of the belt and the history it represented. Despite her initial reluctance, Hippolyta was impressed by Hercules' courage and his determination. She saw that he was a man of honor, and she believed that he could be trusted to use the belt wisely. However, she was still hesitant to give it up, and she knew that she would need to be convinced. The other Amazons were not as welcoming to Hercules as Hippolyta. They saw him as an outsider, a threat to their way of life. They were jealous of Hippolyta's friendship with him, and they feared that he might influence her to become more open to outsiders. When Hippolyta began to spend time with Hercules, the other Amazons became increasingly resentful. They saw him as a distraction, a threat to their unity, and a potential danger to their way of life. They began to whisper about him, spreading rumors and trying to turn Hippolyta against him. Some of the Amazons even began to plot against Hercules, hoping to drive him out of the city or even to harm him. They believed that he was a threat to their safety and their security, and they were determined to protect their homeland at all costs. The jealousy and resentment of the other Amazons would prove to be a major obstacle for Hercules. He would need to be careful and diplomatic in his dealings with them, avoiding any provocation that could lead to violence. As word of Hippolyta's friendship with Hercules spread throughout the Amazonian city, tensions began to rise. The other Amazons grew increasingly resentful and jealous, and some even began to plot against Hercules. One day, a group of Amazons attacked Hercules while he was walking through the marketplace. They outnumbered him and were armed with swords and spears. Hercules fought bravely, but he was quickly overwhelmed. Just as it seemed that Hercules would be defeated, Hippolyta arrived on the scene. She ordered her warriors to stand down, and she confronted the Amazons who had attacked Hercules. "You have gone too far," she said. "Hercules is our guest, and he has done us no harm." The Amazons were reluctant to obey, but Hippolyta was a powerful and respected leader. They eventually backed down, but their resentment towards Hercules remained. Seeing that the Amazons were determined to drive him out, Hercules knew that he had no choice but to fight. He drew his sword and faced down his opponents. The battle was fierce and bloody, with both sides fighting with incredible courage and determination. Hercules was a skilled warrior, and he was able to hold off the Amazons for a time. However, he was outnumbered and outmatched. Just when it seemed that he would be defeated, Hippolyta stepped in again. She ordered her warriors to lay down their weapons, and she declared that the fighting must stop. The Amazons were reluctant to obey, but they eventually backed down. Hippolyta then turned to Hercules and said, "You have proven yourself to be a worthy warrior. I will give you the belt, but you must leave our city unharmed." Hercules agreed to Hippolyta's terms. He took the belt and departed, leaving the Amazons to tend to their wounded. With the conflict resolved, Hippolyta finally agreed to give Hercules the belt. She knew that it was a powerful symbol of her authority, but she also recognized that Hercules had proven himself to be a worthy warrior. She believed that he would use the belt wisely and that he would not harm the Amazons. Hippolyta led Hercules to the royal treasury, where the belt was kept. It was a magnificent artifact, forged from gold and adorned with precious stones. Hercules was awestruck by its beauty and its power. With a heavy heart, Hippolyta handed the belt to Hercules. "This is a great responsibility," she said. "Use it wisely and protect our people." Hercules accepted the belt with gratitude. He knew that he had earned it through his courage and his determination. He was proud to be the bearer of such a powerful artifact. As Hercules prepared to leave the city, Hippolyta gave him a final warning. "Be careful," she said. "The belt is a target for many. Protect it well." Hercules nodded. He knew that his journey was far from over. He had obtained the belt, but he still had to return to King Eurystheus and complete his task. The journey would be long and dangerous, but Hercules was determined to succeed. After a long and arduous journey, Hercules finally returned to King Eurystheus' court. He carried the belt of Hippolyta with him, a symbol of his victory over the Amazons. King Eurystheus was both impressed and disappointed. He had expected Hercules to fail, but the hero had proven himself once again. However, Eurystheus was determined to find a way to humiliate Hercules, and he would not let this opportunity go to waste. "You have completed this task, Hercules," Eurystheus said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "But I doubt that you will be able to finish the remaining labors. You are growing old and weak." Hercules ignored Eurystheus' insults. He knew that he had completed another of his tasks, and he was one step closer to freedom. He presented the belt to Eurystheus, who examined it with a mixture of envy and disgust. "It is a beautiful belt," Eurystheus said, "but it is not enough. I have another task for you." Eurystheus then revealed the next labor, a task that would test Hercules' courage and his loyalty to the gods. It was a task that would put his life in danger, and it was a task that he knew he would have to complete if he was ever to be free. Hercules accepted the new task, determined to prove himself once again. He knew that the journey ahead would be difficult, but he was confident in his abilities. He was a hero, and he was prepared to face whatever challenges came his way. With the belt of Hippolyta secured, Hercules had completed another of his 12 labors. However, his journey was far from over. King Eurystheus, ever seeking to humiliate Hercules, had already assigned him his next task. A new challenge awaited the hero, one that would test his courage, his loyalty, and his very soul. As Hercules prepared for his next adventure, he knew that the road ahead would be filled with dangers and obstacles. But he was determined to overcome them all, to prove himself worthy of his divine heritage, and to finally break free from the chains of servitude. The legend of Hercules was far from over. Thank you for watching. Please comment below what you would like to see next.